What's poppin', everyone? Welcome to another episode of Remember When. My name is Jose. With me today are my boys Mir and Johnny. Say what's up, guys.
Hey, yo, man. It's your boy Johnny, man.
What's good, yo?
Hey, boys. What's poppin'?
We good, man.
Yo, so we gotta shout out some remembers. Some people that are commenting on our posts and whatnot. So today we're gonna do kind of a new bit. We're gonna shout some of you guys out that have been commenting, interacting with us on social media. I have a TikTok account that I post a lot of our Remember When videos on. So a lot of people also interact on there and, through our Instagram. So be sure to give both those a follow. We'll be sure to have the links in the description if you want to go follow us and watch all of our antics.
Yeah.
But
if you want your name on screen, comment now.
Yeah, come on down.
Say anything you want.
Yeah, high five Johnny.
Yeah.
Say what's up.
Don't be disrespectful. I'll put you on blast, though.
He will. He actually will.
Yeah, call him your little Eminem head and he'll blast you.
I'll dedicate a whole episode to you, fam.
All right, so the first shout out is to Mason. So I did a Movies You Forgot About video about Treasure Planet. And Mason said, I realized I was a homo because the main character of Treasure Planet. So congratulations, Mason.
Yo.
I'm
Shout
glad
outs to Mason, bro.
Sexuality.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. Treasure Planet.
I'm glad Treasure Planet treated you well. Yeah.
Better than Twilight, bro.
All right, Johnny, hit us off with another one.
All right, so from Miguel Colon 7831. I wonder who that is.
Man put his whole government in this shit.
We love you, Miguel. Bro, so under the Flash Games episode on YouTube, it says, so this is actually a response to us because we said that if somebody commented down that to not do Roger Rabbit, then, we would say something. And Miguel says, remember when, crew? Who Framed Roger Rabbit gave me severe PTSD. Every time I go to bed, I see Roger Rabbit standing in the corner playing the tuba.
Why the tuba?
Playing the tuba, bro. Ain't even shouting at him. He's just playing the tuba. Honestly, that's a dream, bro.
Yeah.
That's like a wet dream, bro. We appreciate you, Miguel. We love y'all. But we doing Roger Rabbit anyway, bro. So you're going to have to deal with it, okay?
It's true. We are.
Yeah. And if you got something to say about it, come at me, bro.
Come at him.
Mm-hmm.
I would have just called it schizophrenia. Yo, but shout out Akuma Kazama. These are some horn dogs that I'm shouting out. They said Rosalina all day when asked whether Peach or Daisy.
Yes, sir. Rosalina ain't bad.
And Overlord Panda 91 said Daisy way badder. You see her in the tennis game.
Yeah, man of culture, bro.
Overlord, I hope you don't buy the other games just to see Daisy in it.
Too late, bro. You don't even need the games,
Man
dog.
bought the newest Smash just to see how Daisy float.
Well, she got that third eye, bro. So, she's a bad chick.
I'm so glad you think so.
Ew. When you say third eye, all I think is like Powerpuff Girls.
No, it's in the back of her head, though, so you don't have to stare at it.
Ew.
It's just the thought.
All right, so another shout out to jake.wiz.dm. So wisdom, yeah, I like it.
Jake Wisdom.
So to our post about the what is it, the Sunny D, how we talked about how the one girl had drank so much Sunny D that her skin started turning orange. Apparently that happened to Jake also. Yeah, they said I had so much Sunny D that happened to me too.
Pics or it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Send us
You know what to do,
pics.
Jake.
Yeah. Give us a time lapse. I want to see a
Jake,
time
I'm trying to
lapse.
get the Sunny D sponsor. Stop playing with me. Send pics.
Send them our way. And then we got one more. So it was regarding our Fantastic Four question. So Charles said that Joe Fix is just personality, Bruce Banner. Hulk is still Hulk. They all just share a mind and body. You are wrong, but yes, Hulk and Ghost Rider. So basically they said, Amir, screw you. Hulk is going to win solo.
I still think you're wrong, but keep going.
But don't worry, Charles. You said your piece.
Mm-hmm.
Amir thinks you're wrong.
Yeah.
But you said your piece.
Charles Xavier died in the comics, so.
But yeah, so, just comment, DM us, interact with us, and we'll be sure to give you a shout out. Oh, and then one more shout out. I don't know who had said it, but we had a post up a poll about who was the lamest superhero, and somebody said Powdered Toast Man from Ren and Stimpy, right? Or was it? Yeah, it was Ren and Stimpy, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Man, he's not wrong.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong at all.
I have a new answer for that, though.
Okay.
So I recently rewatched a series called The Venture Brothers. Have you heard of it? It's on Adult Swim. Dog is and beautiful show.
Oh my God, I forgot.
Yeah,
that.
dude, with Brock Samson and all them, bro. I love that show. Like, genuinely, great show. Find on HBO Max. It's a really funny show. But there's a frog that just throws a brick. That's it. He just throws a brick. He's dressed as a frog.
I love that so much.
That's his power, bro. That's a super villain. That's my candidate, bro. But at the same time, that is pretty deadly. A brick can be a formidable object.
That can be. Yeah. I'm sorry. I don't know. I was thinking about the Three Little Pigs story. I was like, yeah, that's what they used to kill the wolf. I was like, no, they didn't.
Wait.
I'm like, what fairy tale am I remembering?
A brick is still formidable.
I mean, still. But here I am. I got a whole fairy tale playing in my head where like three pigs grabbing a brick, just like, beating up the wolf.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, knowing how the old school fairy tales are, that might be true.
Honestly, it might be because aren't old school fairy tales like significantly darker than
how
tellings that we get?
You know how Little Mermaid ended? Yeah, in the Disney movie, she gets with her man, but in the other movie, I think she gets her wish, but ends up turning into like sea paste. And
sea paste?
Yeah, or like some material, but she like literally like rots away.
Oh, did not know that.
It's pretty gnarly.
See, I thought a lot of those old school fairy tales were supposed to be like very dark because it shows like the consequence, but it's supposed to be like, yeah, it's all peaches and daisies till it's not. Like, like mermaids come from like manatees or some shit, because back in the day someone was like, yeah, there's things floating in the water and it looks like people. But in reality, like the mermaid horror story is like they'll drown you, you know what I mean, going overboard and getting like sea crazy, I guess. So like Hansel and Gretel don't go into like strangers' houses. They might just kill you and make you into a pie. You know what I mean? Like,
I think one of my favorites though of the changes was a Jungle Book, because I think in the original movie Mowgli goes back to his village. But in the original story, he goes back to the village, but they reject him because he's animalistic. So they're like, yeah, get out of our village. We don't want you here. But then Mowgli's like, okay, it's all, we talking about that? I'm going to get my whole animal people and we go raid this whole village. The end. Destroys the village with the animals.
Isn't that like a play on the fact that like, like it takes a village to raise a kid, but the kid that gets expelled from the village comes to burn down the village that expelled him?
That's deep, bro.
I'm just saying that's like an old school thing where like if you reject someone from the community, they're likely to come back and burn it because like that's what hurt them in the first place.
That's a good lesson.
I was gonna say, I feel like I'm in a college English class right now.
Sorry, we got philosophy or whatever the fuck y'all on
fables
here.
Fables and myths.
Anyway, bitches, hoes.
That movie. So quick question for you guys before we dive into our topic today. Would you rather be a really, really good cook, but you're unable to taste, food, your own creations? Or would you rather be a really talented author, but you're unable to read?
I'd rather be the author.
The author? Why is that?
Because, like, at least someone could read my stuff and be like, Amir, you're fire. I'll never believe you. But, like, everyone in the world will be like, bro, that's fire. If I'm a cook and I just got COVID eternally, I'm just cooking. I could make some money off it and all that, but I wouldn't enjoy it nearly as much. I don't think I ever could because I can't ever taste what I create. But at least I could get the feedback from the book and shit. And you can, people have reviews on books. They ain't gonna have like a whole page review about my like tortellini though.
Yeah, being a chef who can't like taste their own food is like being a beat maker that can't listen to their own beats. Like kind of like destroys the whole fun of the process.
DJ Khaled?
That dope man, yeah. You better watch out, bro. You might get his goons on you.
God, dude.
But I agree with me. I'll be the author. The author who can't read. I'll just rely on other people.
I would choose the cook, the chef, but it's mostly because I just think I would get greater enjoyment out of that career path rather than being an author. That's just me personally. I think I would have more fun being like in a dynamic position than being like, all right, and not even being able to read what I'm typing up on screen. Just like hoping what I'm spitting is like hard facts.
I'm just word vomiting on the screen.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Just ramblings of a madman, bro.
Stevie Wonder, man.
Bust out the glasses. Bro.
I'm just saying your editor is going to hate you.
Facts, bro.
Yeah.
Never mind, I'm being cooked then. Jose really brought up a good point. How am I supposed to write a good story? Unless I'm like sitting on the couch like, No, right, exactly like this. Like,
oh,
like
you're
that.
doing like word to text.
Yeah,
kind of thing?
there we go. I could do that. Then my editor can take care of the rest. Boom, there we go. Okay, I'll do that then. I'll do that.
Go do that.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard.
Or you could be like me and just go in, to like Chat GPT and just be like, make me a novel. Like
Make me a novel.
Good cook and a good, author.
Yeah, GPT can only do good. Actually, I'll be a cook. Final answer, cook.
Y'all stay switching up on me. I'm staying solid.
All right, so you guys ready to talk about Jak and Daxter?
Yes,
Jak
sir.
and Daxter.
Yes, sir.
Jak and Daxter.
So what are you guys' history with Jak and Daxter?
Jack shit.
Jack shit.
Jack shit.
Why is
No,
that?
I'm playing. Honestly, because I was a Sly Cooper kid. Like, honestly, were you, because I know Mira was more Jak and Daxter. I was Sly Cooper. Were you more Ratchet and Clank?
I actually was more Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, but we get, boom, 3 different perspectives. With Jak, for me, I maybe like dabbled into like 1 or 2 of the games, but never really like took time to beat him or understand him. It was mainly just watching Amir play and then seeing what he do.
I mean, it was, I think that's one of those games, or at least Jak 2 and Jak 3 was one of those things where it was definitely cooler if you like were watching it from the sides. Like you didn't need to like play it to enjoy it. Because I remember, I feel like that was more common as a kid growing up, is that like, I remember seeing, for example, my dad playing Kingdom Hearts. Right. And I would watch it.
You just sit there and watch.
Yeah. Because I was like, oh, this is like cool to me. It like felt like entertainment. I mean, even though I wasn't actually playing the game.
It's Let's Plays before Let's Plays.
Yeah, absolutely.
Seriously,
absolutely. Yeah. What's your history with him? Since that was,
dude,
Johnny said that was like, more of your main, niche out of the 3.
Jak and I remember playing it as a kid, and I loved it so much. I played it as an adult, and I remember it because Johnny has all the old school stations, so I'll play it like literally in his fucking room. Like we're both grown adults, like just chilling in the same room. I'm playing like games we played when we were like 8. You know what I mean? And the game was like one of the OG platformers, like especially the first one, because if people remember like Crash Bandicoot, how like the games are just structured where you go from platform to platform, you're trying to maybe do some challenges. I think later games you introduce some like side objectives where he's like maybe drives for one of the missions and collects all the gems or whatever the heck. Jak and Daxter, especially the first game, was like that. And I mean, it was basically like a collector game where you had to collect a certain amount of those fucking eggs that you have to get throughout the whole game. And it reminded me like old school Spyro, where you had to get a certain amount of gems to progress to the end of the game. And the game just switched up on me because, we record a lot. And I always say I like gritty stuff, more dark things. So when we go from like the first game where it's like more Crash Bandicoot, everyone can play it. You know what I mean? There's different types of challenges. But I think as long as you're like above the age of 5, you could beat it. It's like OG Sly, the first Sly game versus Sly 2, day and night. But you start with the very basics and it establishes a foundation. You get to the second game, that's where you get like, this man got like at least 8 different guns and like he actually talks versus the first game. He doesn't speak at all. Like, if anything, and I always thought it was funny, Jak, the main character, doesn't speak, but his buddy Daxter really does speak for him majority of the time and is like the comic relief.
Absolutely. Do you guys remember the plot of the first game?
Generally,
do you probably aren't entirely familiar with the first one?
The only thing I remember is that there's the damn thing called lurkers. They're like lurkers. Yeah, lurkers are coming on the island. They have to collect eggs for unknown reasons, and Daxter becomes an ocelot. The end. That's all I know.
All right. Yeah. So I guess to do a quick rundown, Johnny isn't too far off. He's actually pretty close. You have your 2 protagonists at an unknown planet. So you got Jak and you have Daxter. The 2 of them go to this place called Misty Island, which they were explicitly told you should not go there. So what did they do? They went there. Over there, they see some shady behavior going on with the lurkers and a couple of figures that they don't know about. And as they're about to escape the island, a lurker comes and confronts the 2, and Jak is about to throw an explosive. Well, the explosion ends up throwing Daxter, who is actually a human, or whatever their species is
they
called.
Look like elves.
Yeah. No, honestly, more like an elf.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, so Yeah, they could take Elf Daxter into a pit of dark eco. He goes in there and gets spit back out, and he has that form of an Ottsel, which we all recognize him as. Nobody recognizes his human form.
Yeah.
Like
dark eco's like mercury. It's like one of the things like they're experimenting with it. You shouldn't touch it though. Like that's basically what the game says. And then of course this man falls in a pit of it.
Yeah. And so from there, the two go back over to their main island, to their village, and they visit their village sage, Samos, and he tells the two, oh, yeah, so in order to revert Daxter back, you have to go see a dark eco specialist and send them on their journey to go collect, all types of items, precursor orbs and all that in order to get Daxter to change back, which, if future games tell anything at all, didn't happen, but yeah, along the way, that's where you find, you fight off lurkers and you find who the true antagonist of the overall plot is. But yeah, so basically, in a nutshell, let's get Daxter back to being human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And collect all the eggs. Yeah, so in the game, the biggest collectible are these precursor orbs or precursor eggs, whatever you want to call them.
Precursor orbs, you're
right.
Yeah.
And so all of them, they help, unlock certain, level accomplishments, achievements, certain walls, access to in the game.
It's like ancient artifact. Like they set up the game to where, these guys are like weird, and maybe they do it on purpose where like everyone has pointed ears, especially like the shaman. He's like got like these fucking logs for like sandals and everything. But like the precursor, Precursor, it's in the name, you know what I mean? But this goes into older technology, and then there's dark eco and all these things that came before, and you kind of get a general idea. They do it on purpose because a lot of these things were before their time, and they're kind of just working with whatever they're in.
Yeah, and that's something that's explored a lot more in the second game. Absolutely, that's when they really dive into what exactly like precursor eggs are, what eco is, because Daxter falls into this pit of dark eco. You have no idea what the heck dark eco is. You're like, it's just that goop. You don't know anything about it.
Yeah,
as the game progresses.
Ain't there like multiple versions of eco too?
Yeah, there's.
Yeah, they don't introduce that idea till the third game though.
Well, no, that they have it in the beginning, and what it was before, it was blue eco, green, red, yellow, and then later on we got the dark and the light eco, which was Jak 2. But in the beginning, when Jak didn't have any weapons or any of that, those were basically his power-ups, is to make him move faster, replenish his health, attack stronger, or the yellow one, he literally turns into Mario and shoots fireballs. So
fuck yeah, bro.
But that's what I thought was so interesting about the first game, because you get all these things like the multiple colored ecos, and like you're taking components from other games, like you said, Mario, and then you got like Sly, like with the platforming and everything. And then you don't see that ever again in any of the other games. They don't even mention other colored eco other than dark and light past the first game.
Yeah, what I'm pretty sure the series does, and you could correct me if I'm wrong. So in Jak 2, Jak gets a morph gun is what it's called. So, and it's cool that they call it that, because it was a great way for you to see the transitions of the gun changing into the different ones in his hands, because they animated that like really well so that we can actually see it. But he gets the yellow gun, the red gun, the blue gun, and I think the green gun, which all parallel all the ecos from the first game. You know what I mean? Rather than have the ecos move forward, they kept the same principle of them, but moved it over to the guns.
See, can we talk about how jarring the stark difference between the first and second game are? Because I ain't gonna lie, when I remember Amir had the first game, and it was like a regular like Banjo-Kazooie, like Super Mario 64 type of game. And I'm like, okay, this looks like cutesy and stuff like that. Remind me of Rough Trigger, if y'all know that booty ass game. But then I saw him play Jak 2, and I'm like, this don't even look like the same game, dog.
They
like
start
what
the game with torture?
Yeah, dead ass is like they start off with game torturing the hell out of Jak for what, 2 years?
Yeah, it was
3 years,
2 years.
And just for context, guys, because this game's old as fuck, and I mean, you could probably get it on like the PlayStation shit and all that, or if you have a classic PS2. But I think in the first game, they went through all that, and I believe they got blown into basically another realm, dimension, or even area, whatever you want to specify it as. And he got disconnected from everybody except Daxter, I believe.
Yeah,
and
Daxter ended up going to the same area.
It's like falling into the future, and then like the future cops are like, "Well, what the fuck is that?" Like,
but wait. before Jak 2, we got to talk about a classic.
Ooh, no.
Daxter, bro, on the PSP.
We don't need to talk about that.
Never mind. Skip Daxter. Keep going.
That was back in the day when like all the side characters got their hustle because of the PSP.
Secret Agent Clank and shit.
Yeah, like, I mean, you can play it. Like, did anything happen? No, Daxter just kills bugs in like his game. So like,
yeah, if I'm not mistaken, it basically explains where Daxter was in that 2-year gap. You know, because like we know where Jak was. He was being tortured and being tested on with Dark Eco. So Daxter, yeah, no idea where he was. I'm pretty sure that just filled in the void of like where he was at, if I remember it correctly. But yeah, that game, you don't really need to talk about that.
Yeah, it's filler.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, if anyone like listening is, you know, really a nerd and wants to go back and play those games, good fucking luck. I ain't gonna lie to you. I played that shit as an adult. That game is hard. Both 2 and 3 are hard.
Yes, 2 and 3. Well,
especially
the mini games.
2. Honestly, to the ending, I won't even spoil, but like the ending of 2, I died way over 20 times. It felt like I was fighting a Dark Souls boss. I'm not lying to you. Like, but for those that, you know, he's like in his futuristic city. It's such a cool game because you don't see other games have like GTA level of free roam where I can just hijack a literal flying car and there's flying trucks, vans, all that shit. I could elevate, de-elevate. There's collectibles in the whole world, you know, and you have this transforming gun, which, like you said, is cool as fuck because as you progress, you unlock more attachments that make it bigger and better. I think you get like a shotgun, a rifle, a shocker, and then like this purple one that basically is like RPG.
Like, yeah, I know one is like a grenade launcher type of weapon.
Yeah, and then it just evolves as it goes on. But man, it stood out amongst the other games at that time because of how much variety it offered, but also how hard it was. That was the only game where I've held on to it and I didn't beat it till I was like in my teens.
Yeah, no, that one is a lot more challenging. But also Jak 2, it really is like 3 or 4 games into one because so it's like Tony Hawk Pro Skater. I don't know if you guys remember how many
because they have the hoverboard.
Yeah, and you actually have like certain levels where like you need to do tricks with it and whatnot. Yeah.
I mean, that was just different.
Or just even time trials were a nightmare.
Yeah, time trials. But no, the board was the worst because you have to hit a certain amount of score to get like bronze, silver, and gold. And you always want gold, of course. But bro, like if you didn't like break your analog sticks trying to make half them trips.
Wasn't there a mission where you had where Daxter was on a rock and you had to like guide him? I remember watching
that
you play it.
3.
Okay, it was 3.
Was that 3?
3.
Oh, okay.
I remember him playing 3 a lot in my room, and I remember him screaming at that shit, bro.
That one is awful.
That's the worst one. It's the worst. Terrible. I mean, that was the... For those that are like a big nerd, like if you played Assassin's Creed, like Revelations, I think, like they started like getting different games into their own game. Like they had like a city defense where it turned into like a defender strategy game. I was like, what the fuck is going on? You know what I mean?
In my Assassin's Creed,
you know, Jak and Daxter is like that because it throws you off so hard that like it kind of does have that weird cult following because the first game's platformer. Second game, it's action, shoot 'em, racing, puzzle, like you got all of that. And then story-wise, I mean, good luck trying to like keep up with it because if you don't play the first game, even though it's just a platformer, and trust, I'm not a big platformer person myself, I would not replay the first game just simply because I don't like platformers like that. But if you don't play the first game, you don't know what the fuck's going on in the latter half of the second game.
Yeah, if you... I mean, I don't think you need the first game to appreciate the series, but if you have, you definitely will enjoy it a lot more. It's kind of similar with Sly Cooper. You don't need to play the first game to understand 2, but if you did, 2 is going to be a lot better. Yeah. You know what I mean? But yeah, I do have to give the Jak 2, I mean, the whole Jak series props, just like technical marvels, like for the era. Just like how much they were able to pack into the games, or even the first Jak game. That was one of the earliest displays of a day and night system. That, you know, it was actually, you know, the day was transitioning as you were playing the game.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the earliest examples.
You don't even notice at first, and then like.
Well, we were also like such little kids that like that's something that we wouldn't appreciate or even care for. We're just like, oh, okay, it's nighttime.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or
this must even change. Like, oh, it's nighttime. Does this part change?
It does, though, because you'll have different patrols during the times of day. And that was one of those old school games where you had an infamy system, where if I was driving in this hypothetical, car that's floating, and I ran into a police officer, the map literally starts flashing red and all the security forces around start converging on you. Turrets start popping up out of the ground to shoot you down your vehicle. You literally get stopped.
And also just the animation that Jak had in the games, because they go out their way for animating them. I mean, you can look at, maybe this isn't a fair comparison, but look at Sonic Heroes, right? The lip syncing, it's not there. Yeah, exactly. It looks terrible. Or even look at the Sonic Adventure games and whatnot. They're not animated at all. They really aren't. It's super stiff, poor animation. Just the first Jak game alone, that was 2002. You see all of the movements. You see them really being active. The lip syncing is really good.
Daxter's very expressive.
Daxter's super animated. Even when Jak is swimming in the water, you can literally see Daxter shaking on his shoulders. That's attention to detail. That's insane animation that they're doing right there. And that's commitment.
You could sit still in one area, and I used to do this all the time because I remember you could punch, kick, and depending on what you did, you can kind of switch it up. Your kick can turn into a roll that you could jump over ledges with. And each time, if say Jak punches, because he's so big and he's going forward, you see Daxter literally zoom, holding onto his shoulder, trying to hang on for dear life. Or what I thought they did better than Ratchet and Clank was sometimes Jak would get stuck and then you'd have to go into the Daxter form. And at least they made it interesting. They didn't just make it insta-kill this and turn on this lever. The Jak 2 was kind of scary. I ain't even gonna lie.
The Jak 2 starts off with Jak saying, "I'm gonna kill Praxis."
I'm gonna kill him.
You know what? I thought that was cool, especially as a kid, because, you're growing up and everything. And it felt like when Jak 1 came out, even just look at the cover. You just have this little ass kid doing the rock face, and everything. And then you get to the second game, this nigga's holding a shotgun, got all types of armor on, and is just looking straight into my soul.
That's why I say it's such a jarring jump from 1 to 2, because not even Sly or Ratchet and Clank even had that. Sly 2 was maybe a bit darker in here and there, but it's not you see Sly on the cover with a Beretta and Bentley with a fucking rifle in the back. It was still the same tone, but Jak 2 switched it up so heavily. Wasn't it just the first game was E for everyone, and then that game was T.
Yeah, and it stayed T because even 3, they kept up that same grittiness. They didn't elevate it much, but they added more racing elements and more open world
very
elements.
Mad Max inspired.
Yeah, very Mad Max inspired, which was really cool. But I think the driving points of that game is the story.
Oh, definitely. Well, yeah, for 2 and 3, it's 100% the story. And especially 3, because 3 ties everything together, because at the end of 2, you kind of understand what's going on, but you also really don't, especially if you're a kid at the time. You're just I think I get what's going on.
You still don't know anything about Jak's backstory in 2.
Yeah. So in 3, that's where a lot of that gets explored, and they do it in, pretty good detail. Enough to actually end the series without you being mad that it ended. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I really like the change that they did from 2 to 1. Just how with the weapons, how the platforming was done. I thought that was significantly better, and the cutscenes overall. I don't know if you guys...
The cutscenes were smooth.
Yeah, the animation and or even just the quality effort, the number of polygons that were in Jak 2's cutscenes versus Jak 1, and it's night and day. It's insane. I think they did a fantastic job with that.
Plus, I don't know. Maybe it's because I didn't play a lot of those M-rated games, which maybe had a lot more features. Because again, my parents actually gave a damn, so they said no to M-rated games. When you got in trouble, like I said, you had that infamy bar. The whole city's coming after you. You even had missions where they were oh yeah, the whole city's getting invaded. Bro, there's aliens everywhere. Your whole map is full of red dots. I've never seen that much put into an early game. You know what I mean? Because even Ratchet and Clank, I love it to death. And I love how many enemies they throw at you, especially deadlocked, when I think they maxed that out to the most they could. But even then, I felt like, damn, just overwhelm me. You know what I mean? Like, make me feel like, damn, I gotta back up off this, you know? But the story that they had in 2 and like creating the world and like expanding on it more in 3 and everything like that, especially if you're like a race nerd, you'll love Jak and Daxter. It's for real, because they implement racing in what, like 70% of the game, and if you take 2 and 3 together.
Oh yeah, especially in 3. 2 it was definitely relevant. Well, plot wise and actually like, you know, just like how it was executed. But yeah, I would say it was a pretty big deal in 2, but like a huge deal in 3. That was definitely like probably like 50 to 60% of the game, like without a doubt. So looking back on this series, like, I mean, I think you already said it earlier, Mir. Would you play this game nowadays?
I need to get around to it. I want to go through the trilogy. I'll skip Daxter. I don't give a fuck about Daxter. I don't give a fuck about Jak X either. How about Lost Frontiers?
It's a good idea. It was not executed well.
Yeah, I know, because like I was curious because up until like literally like when Jose sent us the notes, I was looking through the series. I'm like, oh, there's a game after Jak 3, and it's like I knew Jak X, but I didn't know the Lost Frontiers, and I think that was PSP only. And then it came to PS2.
And then it came to PS2.
Yeah, so it's like it's a PSP game that got ported to the PS2, and it's not made by Naughty Dog. So how do you think that's gonna go? But it was a sequel to Jak 3.
I'm pretty sure it was High Impact Games that made it.
Think so.
Yeah.
But it wasn't good. I looked at the footage. That game does not look good, dog.
Yeah, just for those that know, Naughty Dog is kind of like the GOAT. So like when they like switch teams like that, be a little sus, because usually it's not like you can hope the product is nearly as well. But realistically, with this series, I'd argue that once you beat 3, forget about the rest of the games.
Yeah,
just forget about it. Just 3 gives you enough closure to like call it good.
They could do a reboot. Honestly, I hope they do a reboot because they could do much. They could do a lot with that. But if that's where it has to end, it's not as good as Ratchet and Clank, but that's okay. At least it ended.
Jak, Thieves in Time.
No, that game wasn't bad, but no, we're good. We're good.
Are you guys excited about the potential idea of a Jak and Daxter movie?
The moment you said what actors could be, I was like, no.
No?
No.
Maybe animated. Like, I could see that. Like, again, I know I said it, like, to y'all in person, but, like, if it was, like, the Arcane style, where, like, you kind of remain and keep some of that grittiness that you had in the second and third game. Because it'd be hard if you got, like, a desert environment and you got everyone looking clean and everything. The racing's crispy, too, because I love 3 to death, but that racing in the desert was... I'd rather scratch asshole. Like,
it's relentless.
Like, it's just, I don't know. Like, to each his own. I like, what's that shit called? I guess it's friction. With the like different wheels, and how well it operates in the desert and everything. Because I noticed as you elevate in the different vehicles, they slide less.
Yeah.
But the beginning
is a handling.
The beginning though, bro, you try to put 60 on that thing, you gonna do 8 donuts on accident.
Like if they've ever made a movie, number one, don't make it live action. I swear to God, if it's live action, I'm boycotting Naughty Dog or whoever, is responsible
just
for the movie.
Just stop the live action shit, bro.
Yeah, we don't need live action, dog. Just literally got the PS2 games right there. Find the models, find the assets, do a CG movie. That's all you need. Literally all you need, dog. Stop doing live action shit.
You heard it from Johnny. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah. And you said Tom Holland gonna play Jak?
Yep.
Fuck these dudes.
Well, that's he wants to play Jak.
He wants to?
Yeah.
He should not.
He does not have the head for it.
That's like when they cast him to play fucking Nathan Drake in Uncharted. Huh?
Yeah, they did.
In the Uncharted movie, they made him Nathan Drake. No one's gonna... I'm not forgetting that, bro.
He's too baby.
He's too baby.
I'll accept it if he plays Jak in Jak 1.
I'll accept it if he plays Daxter.
Anyway, once he gets to 2, the man like has a goatee, like he has like the long yellow slick back hair and everything. He's like built in general, and he's always been built. So I don't see like, no offense to Tom Holland, he's just too like little kid like,
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll have to wait and see. We'll get more details about it. We'll learn more about the movie.
Or now I'll probably be in limbo like the Sly Cooper movie.
So we're all going to go watch it when it comes out. We're going to get premiere tickets. Tom Holland slide to us.
All that shit we talked about you, don't worry about it, bro. We love you, bro.
Just forget about all that.
Spider-Man, we love that, man. Yeah, Spider-Man.
Don't switch up. We Ghost Rider gang. If it ain't Nicolas Cage, I don't want it.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage. Fuck yeah.
Listen, Tom Holland did the lip sync battle for the Umbrella. You ever watch that video?
Mm-mm.
Oh, he did Umbrella by Rihanna, and he did a lip sync battle for it, and he absolutely destroyed that.
So he's
I'm
good
surprised
at lip-syncing.
you've never seen that video.
Nope. He's good at lip syncing.
So popular, it's insane.
So he's good at lip syncing, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and he can be in a music video.
That's crazy. So he's still not being Jack then?
No, not at all. So I'm just saying, it was awesome.
Imagine he's lip syncing the whole thing and someone else's voice. How did he get his voice so deep?
Damn, is that Barry White? Barry White playing Jack? No. No.
Can you imagine him getting tortured? I'm gonna kill him.
Kill him.
I don't know if he's moaning though.
Yeah. You have any final words about Jak and Daxter, just the series in general?
Definitely go and check it out if you haven't before. It's one of the PS2 classics in my book, top 5 easy. 2 and 3 are the best. You can skip all the rest.
Do you have a rating for the series overall, like out of 10?
Oh Lord,
I know it's kind of tough lumping 3 games into one because they're all.
If
so
I have
different.
to lump all 3, I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10.
Okay.
Simply because I don't like platformers, and honestly, I'm kind of a completionist. And one of the things we didn't mention is there's some mini games in those games that are rigged. You will sit there for 3 hours trying to get a gold. I forgot what it was in Jak 3, but you had to press the buttons when the circles came exactly into. Bro, I remember he sat there for an hour. He finally got the bronze, and then it was all right, do that again for silver and do it 2 more times for gold. And he was like, fuck this.
Dude, literally, I looked at him like, no, I'm not, fuck this game, bro. What do you even get? What am I going to get out of this?
Bro, you get more precursor orbs, so you can unlock the cheats and stuff.
Whoa, that's awesome,
rad.
Because Naughty Dog loves putting in them secret cheats.
Fuck that, I'm going to get Game Shark and just cheat, bro. I got time, bro.
How about you, Giant? What are your final words of wisdom?
Jak and Daxter's great. It's one of the, like Zamir said, one of the classics. It's one of the, it's the big, it's part of the big 3. You got Sly, Ratchet, and Jak. It don't matter who you love. If as long as you love one of them, you're cool with us. You're cool with Remember When.
There we go. And do you have a rating for the series or not really?
I'm rated of not applicable out of 10 because I never played it. But I watched Amir play. That's all I need.
There we go.
I'll get to the series one day. I gotta do the same thing with the goddamn Ratchet and Clank, at least with the rest of the series.
Yeah, one day. I give it an 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed it overall. I think it's in terms of them being technical marvels, they're a 10 out of 10, absolutely. But as just as a whole, they didn't. I mean, they're solid games, but I don't think they're ones that that I will remember as fondly as Sly or even Ratchet and Clank. I like those ones a little bit more, in terms of just story of the characters and everything. But yeah. Well, one day we're going to go see that movie when it comes out. Tom Holland!
Yeah.
Tom Holland! It's going to be like the Yu-Gi-Oh movie.
Yeah. All right. Until then, remembers, we appreciate y'all so very much.
Oh, yeah. And let us know. Are you a Sly Cooper man? A Ratchet and Clank or Jak and Daxter?
Let us know in the comments.
Which one do you vibe with the most? Yes. We'll judge you. We will judge you.
Yeah, if you tell us your favorite game and it's one of them,
you'll get a shout out. You'll
definitely get a shout out.
Yeah, you'll get a shout out. But until next time, remembers, peace out.
Remember When is a Sweet Recording production. Check them out at suiterecording.com.
Intro and outro created by our very own Johnny.
Subscribe, listen, and remember to review wherever you are on social media. Thanks for listening.